Our next topic comes from patreon.com/kindafunny, where Abdelaziz Ahmed subscribed, gave us some money, and got to have his topic read on the air. It goes like this, Nick. Everybody, and this is a pack of lunch, everybody. Everybody has that thing. You know, the one thing that can tick them off and get them very annoyed and irritated quickly. The thing that you fundamentally dislike on principle alone. I'm a fairly relaxed person, and I don't really get annoyed by many things but for me, it's when a person asks another person to communicate for them to me because they can't do it. Example, this is in quotes, Greg wanted me to tell you that he feels uncomfortable when we go see R-rated movies. I find that on principle rude and kind of messed up. If I'm friends with someone, I want them to come to me whenever there's something up, and we'll make it work and hash out any problems and not involve more people. What's yours? So in short, what pisses you off? Everyone at the table. There was not an ET cartoon from the last topic. That sounds like fake facts from Kevin. What
when I
pisses
think
you
about
off,
things
beautiful?
that truly make me angry, there's only really one word that comes to mind.
Don't say it.
Kevin.
And that word is Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin.
we all knew it was coming.
Yeah.
God bless
We all
Kevin.
knew.
Yeah.
Kevin
That's the
just
thing.
has the ability.
Joey's just done.
Joey's
To
like,
be-
fuck this show.
Bye, Joey.
Fuck everything.
Everything.
Can't believe
no.
I'm with these people.
God, man. I don't have things that like make me rage that much these days, but the things that do piss me off, like there's one thing that's been pissing me off a lot lately.
Here we go.
Uber drivers. Yes. There's too many fucking Uber drivers here. And every time I take one, I swear to God, it's like it's the person's first day driving. Not for Uber, just in general.
In a car?
Like the first fucking time they've ever actually been in a car. And they act like do you know when like you're doing something and someone's looking over your shoulder so you just fuck it up? That's every time an Uber driver does anything when I'm in the car with them. Like they just suddenly don't know how to stop the car. They're just like, I'm like, oh, right here. And they're like, I'm sorry, sir. I don't remember which one of these fucking things makes me bad.
Whoa!
Where's the wheel?
No, I hear you. That's my thing with Uber drivers, where I'm always like, I'll always give them a reference point. I'm like, at the old house, it's right by this no parking sign. And they go right here and they jerk the wheel over and stop.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
no.
sure, there's clearly no sign here, but you're stupid, so whatever.
Also, driving the city around that many Ubers is annoying to me because they always double park, but they double park in the most obnoxious way where they're just in the middle of the street and they stop.
That's what happens here at
And
the
you're
office.
like, fuck, dude. Like, at least, like, there's 30 other places you could have pulled over there. Just pull in a little bit.
There's
too.
literally, in front of the Kind of Funny studios here, there is a Muni stop in the middle of the street. So there's like 2 lanes of traffic there going one direction. And inevitably, the guy will start getting hesitant. I'm like, after this light, you can pull over in those spots. And 9 times out of 10, they slam on the brakes right there. Stop traffic behind them. People are laying on the horns. I got to get out of there real quick. I'm like, it's not hard. Like,
It's all bad.
yeah. Tim, what pisses you off?
I mean, there's a lot that pisses me off. I'm trying to think of
Kevin.
like the big ticket. That's the thing is I'm trying to avoid the obvious answer.
Yeah.
Which is Kevin. But again, really like just thinking about like the things that just deep down just upset me.
Sure.
I would just say like having to deal with family bullshit. Like there's just so much. Like I guess it's when people do dumb shit, like really dumb shit, and I'm just like, I'm required to be responsible to take care of this, or to be a part of this, or whatever. I don't want to fucking do this. And that is what upsets me. Is just people being dumb, not being courteous to others, not really thinking. I don't like it when people just make these like bold proclamations of how things are gonna be. It's like, no, we're gonna talk about this first. We're gonna figure this shit out. I just think people need to think about others a bit more.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I've been bitching about this for the last three weeks, but one of my neighbors just has a dog. No.
Oh, did he get the dog? Did
Got
that
the
happen?
dog.
Because
Oh,
I heard last I heard
the other
was
neighbor.
Oh, sorry, my fault.
So we have one neighbor who just has been dog sitting for the last 2 months, and I'm like, 2 months is not. That's not dog sitting. You have a dog now, and they're clearly trying to hide it because every time they walk out, they're like, "Shh, be cool." And I'm like, everyone can hear you. I can fucking hear your dog. The collar thing is jingling. And then of course my other neighbor knocked on our door the other day and was like, "Hey, just so you know, just wanted to come over here, introduce myself. Finally, I've been living here for like 2 years, so I'm so and so, and like."
Here's my dog, Bucky.
Just letting you know, I'm getting a dog. And I'm like, that's funny because there's an email that just came out like a week ago that said, hey, dogs aren't allowed in this building because there's no pets allowed in this building per the owner's request, right? Which is exactly why me and my wife live there because we don't want to live near dogs. And the guy's like, oh, don't worry, I got to work around. I'm like, how are you getting a dog? And the guy's like, oh, I got one of those emotional support things. I just applied for an emotional support animal thing so they can't say no. Anyway, I'm going to get the dog probably the next week. See you later. And I'm like, that's so fucked up on so many levels to me that I can't even begin to like explain it. And it makes me so angry and sad for people who actually need this kind of thing, like need an emotional support animal, that there are people out there that are just abusing it because they want a dog. Mind you, he got a fucking husky.
Those are very supportive
in
animals.
a studio apartment with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, maybe it's not going to last that long because at some point someone's
It'll
going
eat
to
him.
implode.
Oh.
So that's just one of those things where I'm like, especially in the city where everyone's living on top of each other, people are so fucking selfish these days, and they just don't give a fuck about anyone else. It seems like I keep running into these people and there's no consequences so why would they give a fuck, right? Like, you live in a building where there's no dogs allowed, and you get a dog, and there's no consequences. Because either you just don't give a fuck, or you have a doctor friend that wrote you a note, and whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
And it just sucks. Like I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? The only thing I can do is like meditate or escalate.
You get a cougar.
We talked about this.
This is my emotional support cougar.
I try to get a panther, but they're really hard
You
to
need to
import
clarify
from Africa.
that it's an animal cougar, not just like an older woman.
Oh no,
for Nick.
I want when you're my age, they're just called dates. They're just women you date. Anyway, yeah, so just things like that where I'm like, you're absolutely right. Like, you don't have to walk around being selfish 100% of the time. In fact, there's something good about taking other people's feelings and life into consideration when you're making these decisions, especially when you're stacked on top of each other in the small living environment. And I feel like I always do that. I'm always like courteous, and I'm always trying to be the one that like makes sure everyone maintains a level of peace around me, especially in my apartment complex. And then I'm just shit on. Then they just open my mouth and shit right down it.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's the worst.
Mine's simple. I've talked about it before. Like, the thing that makes me more angry than anything else in the world is technology not working correctly. It drives me fucking crazy. And it's the quickest thing from I'll be fine to I am furious. Like, when we're trying to do something in here and for some reason, PlayStation's not going to work. I always go back to the first person who was ever on the show as a Patreon guest that paid for it was Louis Menchacha. And when Menchacha came on, he came over and he was all excited to be there. And this is when we'd been out of IGN a week and a half, maybe. And we had just done a bunch of Let's Plays, or we're trying to do a bunch of Let's Plays. And for some reason, the fucking shitty ass Aver capture cards we have weren't working. There was no Kevin, so that was me. And he's trying to be like, hey, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm fucking raging, and I'm trying not to talk to him and take it out, but I'm screaming at everyone in the room except him. And it's like, he just backed away and sat down. I was like, this is what it's like to run your business. Don't do it. But it's like, the simplest thing of like, why won't my phone connect to the cloud or do whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
All right, I'm on Comixology and I've bought too many books now. So when I try to load them, it's fucking, it's just infuriating. Nothing makes me more angry than just work the way you're supposed to fucking work. This is what you do. You have one job.
Yeah.
You don't
It's
do
never
it.
that easy.
Never.
No.
The thing that like drives me nuts is we're in a group of people, like usually it's at my apartment and we have people over, whatever. And someone inevitably is like, or make some sort of comment outside where what they want you to do is ask more questions. But really, if you want to talk about something, just say it.
Sure.
Don't make me like pull this information out of you and make me feel like I'm doing you this huge favor. So my favorite thing to do is to not acknowledge it and to just
See how long the next sigh, what they're going to do.
like, oh, this is just rough, or oh, I can't believe this is happening. No, if you want to talk about it, if you want to vent, you want to process, I'm here for you.
That's what you gotta do. Tim's a master at this. Is what you gotta do. You take your phone out and you're like, yeah, that sucks. And then you don't even have to have the screen on. Just kind of like you're scrolling through something.
I would say I'm good at that.
You do that a lot.
Really?
Well, I mean, like I'll be like, granted, it's me, so I talk a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh man, yada yada yada. I'll try to bring up a topic, and you're like, yep. I don't want to talk about that.
Well, that's the thing is, I do think that that's usually in terms of things that there's things that piss me off are conversations that I feel like I've had a million times,
Yeah.
and I'm only gonna get ratcheted up. I've been trying really hard in the last year and a half, I would say, to like not get ratcheted up because I go from 0 to 60 when it comes to things that just I'm like, this should be solved by now. We have talked about this so many times.
Right.
And I'm just so upset. And it's funny because like love and sex stuff, the joke is it's about communication. Life is communication. Every single thing you do is about being able to communicate with another person and to be able to communicate your thoughts and opinions and view to others. And when there's just like problems with that and the way that you and someone else communicates doesn't align or whatever, all of it boils down to this explosion at some point. And it's just like, what upsets me is when people do not take a step back and be like, what's the best way to communicate how I'm feeling right now to others? And it gets hard between, especially like thinking about us in this.
Sure.
In this bit, like you hate technology, which then means you don't communicate well to us, which means we're all upset. And it's like, that's the type of stuff that's like, it just ratchets you up so much. And so I feel like I avoid conversations a lot of time because I'm like, I'm just trying my best to not.
No, I understand. I'm just
kill
I'm
everybody.
teasing you, by the way.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing though. Is like that is something that pisses me off is those conversations and people not, kind of trying to think about everyone's feelings.
Well, that's why. That's the thing about the technology thing or anything. I hate when I'm pissed off and I know I'm pissed off and I'm taking it out on the wrong thing, or it's hurting my mood, or whenever I snap at Kevin when I am mad at technology or I'm behind and he's trying to talk to me and I can't even process it or whatever. You know what I mean? Or like I'm out with Jen and then something else happens like in my inbox or and that carries over. I'm like, shake it, and you can't shake it. You're just like, I'm fucking mad about this. I'm bent out of shape about a million of this thing and it's fucking everything else.
Being pissed isn't fun.
No, it's the worst.
But there's something about it. It's like, so there's something about drama that is so enticing. And like, there's a difference between drama, gossip, like all this stuff. I'm one of the biggest gossipers in the world. I fucking love gossip. But it's like, there's a level of, I love it in a way that's not destructive. I kind of just like talking about things and I just like knowing what's going on. But it's like, I'm not trying to ruin people's lives and shit. And if I was going to, I'd glitter bomb them. But I do think that there's like I don't understand the people that want to hear just everyone failing and just want everything to go wrong for everyone else. It's like there are specific people I want things to go wrong for, and it's very targeted. But besides that, like I just kind of want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
I think those people it's always very interesting because you do have those people in your life that just would rather watch everyone around them fail than try. And that's really basically what it is, right? It's easier to watch, hope that people fail, so it makes it easier that you didn't try. In general.
So true.
And that's just what happens. And a lot of people think that way. It's very, very hard to stay motivated or be motivated and stay motivated toward a goal for a very long time. So it's way easier to just sit back and hope the world burns itself down. That's unfortunate. It's counterproductive.
What's up, everybody? We finally made endslates. You can click here to subscribe to youtube.com/kindafunny. You can click here to subscribe to youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can click here to go visit our Patreon page, or you can click here to watch a best of playlist. I have 8 seconds left. So, hamma lamma ding dong, how do you like it?